What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show. This is, of course, your host, Anthony Sain. Here are my guys, man. If I could pick any two people to do this show with on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis, it would be the gentleman to my left and my right. My man, the Memphis Grizzlies beat reporter for Bluff City Media, Perry Sharkey. What's going on, my brother?
What it do, man? Fresh off a win.
Man, and nothing like it, and nothing like it. And to my other side, I don't know how it is on TV. I think it's to my left. To my right, I don't know. Know. Y'all tell me. The
to
producer,
right.
Big Dog of Bluff City Media,
Nope.
the best producer in the business, Kitty Stubblefield. What's going on, my brother?
My brother, man. Hey, how's your blood pressure? How are you feeling? You feeling better after last week? After last show?
You know what, man? The last show, for my Fox 13 viewers,
yeah.
I don't know if you guys only watch this show, but go check out the last show, man. It was fresh off of Grizzlies loss to the Houston Rockets. The third Grizzlies loss to the Houston Rockets. I went on an epic rant. Go check it out. I'm determined to be more civil, more relaxed, more reserved for our guests, man. We got guests in the house from Fox 13. So I'm gonna be a lot more chill today, man. I'm gonna be a lot more reserved. So
Might I suggest to our Fox 13 viewers, if you watch that show and any of the unedited versions of that of the show, put some of these in if you're around your babies, man. Just put some of these.
Yeah, because it might go somewhere, man. Get you some AirBuds, some AirPods, some earbuds. It might go somewhere for real. Shout out to my boy. Their parents just egging me on.
He egged you on the whole.
Had no
choice.
Hey, it's good. It was good for TV or good for YouTube in that case.
Need the content. No resistance.
Need the content, man. Because if I don't, the show would have been short. So you got no choice.
Every once in a while, you just hear Parrish go.
Yeah, man. But
yeah,
it's a natural.
He knew it was happening. He knew it was happening.
It's a natural response. Last time we had a show, we asked the question: how good will the Grizzlies be when we are full strength? And I felt pretty good about this team. That's still to be determined now. That's my update. It's TBD. I still think that we are one of the top teams in the West. I think we're a very talented team. I think that our young stars are some of the best core of young stars in the NBA. I think that we are a well-coached team as well.
Yeah.
My only concern about the Grizzlies is number one thing I'm concerned about is our record against good teams. It is what it is. And when I say good teams, I'm just going to give you a number that I thought was startling. When the Grizzlies won against the San Antonio Spurs on Wednesday night, and that made them 13-12 in the Western Conference. That number shocked me when I saw that we're only 13-12 against the West. And yes, you do have some good teams in the West, but there are some bad teams in the Western Conference as well. And I just thought back and I was like, man, we lost to the Clippers. We lost to Houston 3 times. All these different things have happened within this season that we tend to forget about. I'm not really sure, man. We also have these huge continuity issues where guys are missing a lot of games. And Jaren hasn't missed many games, if any at all. I don't think Jaren's missed a game at all. I might be wrong.
How many did he miss? 2 at the beginning of the year?
Maybe so, something like that. Desmond Bane he's kind of coming back into form. He's finding his place. Ja's been in and out of the lineup. It is what it is. He's been in and out of the lineup. I think once the continuity of those 3 guys kind of flatlines or just kind of stabilizes, I think we'll really see what this Grizzlies team is. And we really can't judge until then. Something else that is extremely rare about our team that you have to keep in mind is that this team starts 2 guys in our starting lineup that this is their first year of college basketball. And one of those guys just picked up a basketball
NBA basketball.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And this is Zach Edey's 6th year of playing basketball altogether. You know what I mean? So with that being said, if you're starting 2 rookies on that team, your big 3 has to be a big 3. They've got to be available. They got to be there. They got to be ready. They've got to, play a lot of minutes. That's why when we had these conversations about Taylor Jenkins and his rotations and the way he uses minutes on a team where you've got that many guys that are young, and not just him, man. You got other guys in this rotation that are very young players. Santi Aldama is a very young player. You know what I mean? Jake LaRavia, very young player still. Scottie Pippen Jr., very young player.
J Huff
looks older, but he's making, what is he, 26, 27, something like that?
27. But it's his first year in NBA, first full-time NBA.
Yeah, being used in a full rotation.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of young guys on this team, man. Brandon Clark is an old man. He's 28. You know what I mean? He may be the oldest guy that's out there getting minutes. And with that being said, Jaren, Ja, and Dez have to be available, and they have to be clicking on all cylinders. it is alarming that we're not better against teams in the West. I think the number is going to increase. I think we're going to get better against those type of teams. But like I said, there are those continuity issues. And there are, like the show we did Wednesday show, go back and check it out on the Bluff City Media YouTube, or search the Anthony Sain show on YouTube. Check out Wednesday's episode. The Taylor Jenkins stuff is strange. It's very strange to me. The fact that we're not playing our best guys against their best guys. And that's just simple basketball to me. Like, I hear all these things where, this is how Coach Isilow's offensive system works. And, it's free flowing and guys have to go hard and play limited minutes and all these type of things. And my only rebuttal to those type of things are, yeah, that's cool, but I'm not a fan of anything that's taking my best players off the court. I'm not a fan of that. And I'm also not a fan of something that, quite frankly, could be making our defense worse. Because if it's in and out much, because we're playing that, I'm probably messing with scoring with the defense as well, if that's what I'm doing. So I think all those things need to be considered. I'm a fan of the offense. I think it's fine. Draymond Green said that, teams will catch up to it, and the good teams are pretty much catching up to what we do. So I think those things are some things that you totally have to consider. What do you guys' thoughts on why or why not we're not as good as we probably could be against the better teams?
Well, I'm more concerned. Yeah, we're on 13-12 against the West. My biggest concern are the close games. We only have 3 close wins against West teams: Phoenix, Sacramento, and this is another one. They had a third one: Phoenix, Sacramento, and Minnesota. They just defeated Minnesota at the end. Normally, that's the time we need it, right? That's the time you need to. Playoff games are going to be. You're going to have a lot of playoff games to come down. 2 possession games, last 3 minutes of the game. Losing to Houston twice was the bummer, because that's you lose literally 2 opportunities. Yeah, but I was saying the 2 close ones, the most recent, because the first one was a blowout, but the 2 close losses, especially the second one, you led by 13 points, blew the game. So yeah, it's a concern. I'm definitely concerned overall about the makeup of how they're performing against the Western Conference. But I think what it's showing is, we know the Western Conference is a deep conference. They're dominating the East like they should, even with players missing. What it's showing us is you're missing certain players for certain matchups. With the current team we have now against the Houston Rockets, Marcus Smart and Vince Williams Jr. would play a key part of the matchup against the Rockets in the playoff series. They both were missing for both of them games, right? Other opponents, you might need Jay Huff to step up. Another opponent, you might need Brandon Clark. Against the Lakers, you need Zach Edey. I think that's what it just boils down to. You were missing 2 players that would play a key factor when you play the Rockets again.
Yeah.
And really, any given team, the Western Conference is 12 teams deep. Only 10 teams can make it. 12 teams are vying for a playoff play-in position. That's really what their struggles come against the West. You kind of do need relatively full health, or at least the right mix of healthy players, so you can actually sub in and play a player against a matchup that they will be better for.
Well, you're triggering me, Paris. You saying things that about to get me stirred up. I told Kenny my blood pressure was low. I'm drinking my water. I took my Total Beats chew today. So I'm trying to. I've been heavy on my potassium, man. I'm trying to stay calm, bro. You know what I mean?
He's doing it again.
Going off, man.
Doing it again.
You're doing it, man. Certain things you're saying, because you're making me think, bro. It's like out of one side of the fan base, or just some media comments, it's like, the Grizzlies need to just wait and see what they have in Gigi and Vince before they make a deal.
Nah, they can't. I don't know if they can do that, but they ain't got no time to do that.
He's in the G League. You know what I mean? Like, so obviously you don't think that he's part. So what are y'all talking about then? Like, we'll get to that later. Hold on, let me get a little water. Hold on.
Yeah. I think my biggest concern is what you're talking about. You mentioned the defense. I am deeply concerned about what the defense has been looking like this year. The Grizzlies have always hung their hat on the ability to stop teams from scoring the basketball, and they are not doing it. I'm telling you, even last night's game against the Spurs, they looked
Wednesday night's game
against the Spurs. The Spurs were at the rim whenever they wanted to be, and they have a former defensive player of the year on the team with the Grizzlies with a 7'5" monster who's a elite rim protector, and yet they were getting whatever they wanted. And that's concerning to me. Is like, what's happening here? Because this is what happens when you have elite level talent with the elite teams, is you've got to figure out how to stop specific people. And so I don't know what's going on with it. I don't like it. I
Well-
don't like what I'm seeing defensively at all.
I got an answer to that. One, like we were saying, better competition, because the Grizzlies were still a top 5 defensive team before they just last 10, 12 games against the Western Conference. This stretch, they fell down to like, now they're still like number 6 and number 5 overall, but they've been like 25th in this stretch against these teams.
Wow.
And I think that's why
it's
I was
alarming,
alluding
man.
to the
It's
point.
alarming.
That's why I was alluding to back. Marcus Smart and Vince Williams are your best perimeter defenders. Right now, you only got Jalen Wells. Everybody else is sketchy, to say the least, on their perimeter defense. You need your best defenders in those matchups. And that's really what it boiled down to on it.
As we record this, we are about 20 days away from the NBA trade deadline. Let's talk about it. Like, how do you? It just like I just said, there's been all this talk about. Let's see what we look like full strength, right? But if we're already starting off, and Gigi Jackson is saying, "I'm a ways away. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm physically able, but I'm a ways away." Talking about his condition and things like that. Vince looked really bad when he was out here last time. Plus the guys you have. It's so weird that we're closing with so many different lineups. Back in the day, we had a set lineup. It was what it was. It was Job, Desmond Bain, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., Brandon Clark. You close every game like that. Like, that was your lineup. We don't have that this year. And I think we need one other guy. I don't know if that guy needs to stand up. I did like the Asante Aldama finishing lineup the other night. I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
but it just seems like they need to do something at the deadline to get somebody that's maybe a 3-4, a bigger wing that can kind of close games. Maybe a guy that can play up to play with Jaren at the 4 and let you finish with the Wells, maybe if he's going good or smart or whatever. But they need somebody. This team needs that type of guy. I got a guy in mind that I've been talking about for years. Whatever. I'll probably wait till the second half for my Fox 13 people. Check out the rest of the show. I might mention who that guy is for me on that note. But it just seems like they need to do something at the deadline. But gentlemen, we've talked about how they look right now and what some of the problems are. I'm gonna talk about another problem that I think is really aggravating. Shout out to my boy DeMichael Cole, who got this information. He had a quick sit down with Zach Edey, or stand beside, or whatever it was. I don't know if it's a sit down or not. But he got a quote from Zach Edey, right? And I'll read the quote that Zach Edey gave to DeMichael Cole. He said, "Everybody on the team got to play a role. Everybody's got a different role to do. My role has changed through the year. Very young year. His role is already changing. Just trying to buy into that role. Buy into being an elite rebounder, buying into being an elite rim protector, buying into being a spacer and cutter, more than I've ever been used to. If it helps the team win, that's what I'm going to do." Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Edey is officially in the sunken place. This is something that I hinted at with Paris Sharkey when we had the last show. They've done something to him. You're talking about a guy, gentlemen, who is two-time NCAA National Player of the Year, a guy who was averaging, I think, 20 points a game for the last 2 seasons or close to it in college basketball.
25.
Yeah. Elite level inside scorer. And they're asking this man to cosplay is Donovan Clingan. I'm like, what are we doing, bro? Like, why are they trying to make Zach Edey into something that he's not, bro? Like, it's so strange. And like, I saw that game against Houston. There were 2 moments in I think the fourth quarter, late third, something like that, where Zach Edey had Fred VanVleet pinned under the basket. He takes 2 dribbles, kicks the ball back out. I'm like, man, they got him. And then he gets the offensive rebound, could have went right back up. He's out there looking around for guys.
Do it out.
Yep. Do it after Jake LaRavia or something. I'm like, oh man, they broke him. They broke him, man. They broke Zach Edey. And I'm glad that this quote came out. Shout out to DeMichael Cole too, man. DeMichael Cole of the Commercial Appeal. He asked the tough questions, man. And he asked the questions from people that you want to hear questions from. Like, I was asking questions like, why is nobody talking to Zach Edey, right? And DeMichael asked those questions, and he asked those tough questions. It was a good response. It was a fair response from Zach Edey on that, and it stirred the fan base up for real. A bunch of discussions came from that. And then, ironically, in that game against Wembanyama, Zach Edey punches on him, and but it's kind of troubling, man, because it's like we could do that more, man. Like, Zach Edey, all his points, he scored them in the first quarter. Like, I'm about
to say that the first 5 minutes.
It kind of bothers me, man. I want to know you guys' thoughts on it. Are we overlooking this? I just hate the way that we're using Zach Edey. It really bothers me because he's shown what he's able to do. And I know in the beginning of the season, he was catching the ball wrong. It wasn't going up, and he was getting the ball, and they were trying to get him going, and he wasn't doing his part. I think it's something you can't just abandon it, bro. You have to go back to that overtime. And so, and I know everybody's going back to the Tomas Isolo's offense and all those type of things, right? The Isolo offense had Brandon Clark shooting threes at the beginning of the season. So I think it's worth questioning
like
the
readjusting.
totality. It's worth making some adjustments when it comes down to the Isolo system. Shout out to Isolo, but I mean, let's just be real about it. So what do you guys' thoughts on the whole Zach Edey sunken place theory that I've made? Who hypnotized him is what I want to know, man. How were they able to strap this 7'3", 300-pound man down and do brain work on him?
What's the?
Hey, I got
the tea in the coffee cup.
The tea, the sunken place, literally, yeah. The tea. Yeah. Hey, I got that for y'all while we head to this. So you remember Zach Edey had the back-to-back games where he had like 21 points and 16 rebounds against the Toronto Raptors, and he also had 14 points and 9 rebounds against New Orleans. That's the guy he suffered the head injury, concussion protocol, missed the next 2 games. Since he has been back,
that's what they got him, ain't it?
He has not.
Zach,
yep, I'm about to say that. That's what I was going with.
You looking kind of concussionist.
That's what I was going with it because he hasn't scored. He has.
Go ahead. Paris got to do his conspiracy bag. Come on, Paris.
He hasn't scored 10 points since then. He's played 7 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games since then. He hasn't scored 10 points in any game since that moment. He hasn't had 10 rebounds since that moment either.
He was like, we didn't see that. Like, what? Exactly. Wasn't they elbowed him? I didn't see that. What are you talking about? Also, Zach, come on back. You're looking kind of glazy-eyed. Let's take a look at you.
Also, the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 6 games prior, so he had came back from the ankle injury. He had 6 games he played. He played at least 24 minutes in every game. Since he's been back from concussion, he hasn't played more than 23 minutes in any game since then.
All right, so all jokes aside, we're joking. We don't think that they actually faked the injury with Zach Edey to get him in the back and hypnotize him. We don't think that actually happened. But seriously though, do you think that whatever was going on with him, whether it was the migraines or a concussion or the blow to the head, whatever it was, do you think that might have did something to him, like either short or long term? Like,
I feel like somewhat. Also, the team. I don't know the team because since
he came back super weird, man. He came back terrible.
Also, Ja Morant, Santi Aldama, Brandon Clark, everybody who missed time came back at the same time as well. Yeah. I think it's a mixture of both where
the continuity,
you're trying to the continuity piece again, but it's something to be said where they're not like the San Antonio game. You literally won on Wednesday at least. You gave him the ball in the beginning. He had 6 points. I think he attempted maybe 2 more shots the rest of the game. Like,
yeah,
you got to.
Why not just try to get him going every time he comes in? If him and Josh are there together. Yeah, Josh just got to take that over, man. Josh just got to get that 100%. Whole thing going.
I was about to say it comes down to the point guard. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's not forget. Not only has his role changed numerous times, but his position within the team has changed. He started. He's not started. He started. He's not started. He's coming off the bench. He's playing different rotational periods. Like he's not having his rotational slots aren't the same. Those things for a guy who's played basketball for 6 years and is now playing at the highest level, it's very, very tough to work through in your rookie year.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough, but I've got faith in Zach Edey. He's got to work, man. Like we ain't got no other big man. He's got to work. He is the guy. He's got to work. He's got to be the guy who's ready to contribute for this team as the season goes on and into the playoffs. But to wrap up this final segment of the show, something I definitely want to talk about, which is definitely a point of conversation on Twitter and something I've become the poster boy of the leader of this movement. I found myself standing beside Dark Grizz Twitter, like in the Spaces community. We were one for one time.
United solidarity. Let's go.
Hey, exactly. Enemy of an enemy is a friend. So we were standing united yesterday as the Gigi Jackson conversation came out. Kenny, you said that you wouldn't be surprised if they haven't played G League games.
I said this months ago.
I was like, bro, what in the world are you talking about, bro?
Hey, he need to Brian Windhorst.
Brian Windhorst for sure. But here's my thing, man. There's so many things that, and I'll give my quote from Gigi Jackson. Shout out to my guy Jonah Dillon, who is down in South Haven last night to cover the game, covering Gigi Jackson. He says that he said, I definitely still feel out of shape, but it comes with not playing for a little minute, I guess. But no excuses. I'm going to try to do.
Let me stop you.
Go ahead.
You got excuses.
You definitely have an excuse, Gigi.
You have an excuse, Gigi. Like you had a broken foot, bro. Like,
right.
It's okay to be out of shape.
Yeah. He said, but no excuses. I'm going to try to do everything in my power, control what I control to get myself back to game-ready shape. Gigi Jackson finished that game with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 2 of 6 from 3, and 5 of 16 from the field. Typical numbers for a guy who's a little bit too good to be down there, but is out of shape as hell, as we expect Gigi to be.
I watched it.
Yeah, still finding a way to get 18 points and 5 rebounds with bad shooting from the field. Yeah, this is a big thing. Like, I had a lot of discussions with a lot of people yesterday, Tuesday, whatever, Wednesday about this. Here's my whole thing outside of typing characters on social media. Everybody knows that Gigi is out of shape. Everybody should expect that he's not NBA game ready. But the thing that people kept giving back to me is painting this picture like he's on a treadmill or like he's doing aerobics. Like, that's not what G League games are, bro. It's an environment where the James Booknights of the world are
he
playing.
sure was playing.
He played Romeo Weeks.
Weeks of the world.
Him and Gigi was going back and forth too.
Yeah, whatever.
Right. And these are guys who either have something to prove, they're trying to get back in the league, or it may be dudes who were just kind of average college players who just kind of in the G League,
100%.
trying to get seen by somebody. It's way more Rucker Park than it is, hey, Gigi, let's go out there and have some fun with Gigi and get him revved up for the Grizzlies. That's not what the environment of the G League is, bro. Like, these dudes are out there trying to bust Gigi's. Yeah, they're trying to go at him, man. Like, you know what I mean? So, and it's a lower level of skill, lower level of professionalism, lower level of talent in that league. And I'm like, okay, bro, there's a higher chance of him getting hurt again out there than would be doing whatever he's doing. And my thing is, yeah, sure. And people are like, well, he can get the ball. He can try to score more. It's okay if he's missing shots and all that. It's not, though, man. Because what happens is when Gigi's ready to play, when he's physically ready to play and ready to join the Grizzlies, and then we're like, okay, well, why Gigi ain't playing more, man? Why are we still watching Jake LaRavia? Why are we still watching this? What are we doing? Then you have, but Gigi didn't even look good in G League games. What are y'all talking about? This is what this door opens. And the thing is, if you brought Gigi back to the Grizzlies yesterday in that Spurs game, you gave him 5, 10, 12 minutes of just straight cardio, run up and down. He would have looked horrible. That would have happened. Nobody's expecting. And this weird narrative that people are trying to create, like people think Gigi's going to come in and be the savior. There's not enough people that talk about that to even paying attention to it. I think Gigi is a great prospect for this team. I think he's going to be a high-level rotation player, and he could be that as soon as this year in the playoffs. We do understand they'll have to rev him up to do that. My whole point in all this is I don't see the harm in letting him just go out there and be whatever he is for the Grizzlies in 10, 12, whatever, 15 minutes a game. Rev him up playing with the guys he's going to be playing with, not being featured on a G League team because they're not going to feature Gigi for the Grizzlies. And I get it. I understand. Well, it's a way to get him in shape, get him up to speed. Cool. I get all that. But what he can do that playing for the Grizzlies, bro. And it's like, and the thing that really was like had me really like amazed that people were saying is that they didn't understand the concept of people like myself and others saying, okay, bro, I get what you're saying, but that's not normal, man. This is normally how these guys are dealt with. And people are describing this like, oh, well, yeah, well, why not send them to the G League? And I'm like, because nobody does this, bro. That's not how it goes. Like, teams get their guys up to speed. And I understand the Grizzlies have been innovative in a lot of things, being pioneers, being the first organization to do certain things. And I get that. I understand those type of things. But don't tell me it's normal, man. Don't tell me you're not. Don't tell me it's not an irrational conversation to say, okay, bro, why are we doing this with Gigi? Like, just go play basketball in the NBA, man. We know you're not 100%. We know you'll get up to speed. Like, stop the nonsense, bro. And like I said, and I'll say this, and I'll hand the mic to you guys as we get ready to wrap up the show. If I wasn't in a situation where I watched the weird stuff against Houston, where our starters aren't playing the majority of the fourth quarter, or I didn't see things where Zach Edey's in the sunken place because they've tried to turn Shaq into Shannon Fry, or whatever they're doing with Zach Edey, right? If I didn't see that type of stuff, if I wasn't seeing. But I constantly wasn't seeing like weird things with this Grizzlies organization, this probably wouldn't bother me that much.
100%.
But the fact of what's going on right now, the weird, but what about Isolo's system? When I'm hearing this type of stuff, that makes it look like, all right, bro, can we just be normal, man? Like, and like that's the stuff I put it on Twitter last night. going into the fourth quarter yesterday, just Coach Jenkins, you ain't got to be great. You ain't got to be Greg Popovich. Just be normal, man. Ami Udoka beat you the other night by just being normal. Just being a normal coach doing what a normal coach does. Putting my best dudes against your best dudes, bro. Like,
in the fourth quarter, when it really matters.
Specifically.
Trusting your dudes when Dylan Brooks is in foul trouble, Dylan's a pro. They ain't gonna call all of them.
He stayed in.
Go play. Yep. They ain't gonna call all of them. Jaren, go play. Calm down. Just go play basketball.
Yeah.
And that's all I want them to do. So, like I said, there's a lot of, everybody just gets in, and it's okay. Nobody in the Grizzlies community is a unabashed Zach Kleiman stan the way I am. It ain't many people that I can say that totally support Zach Kleiman the way I do. But it's okay, bro, to see things that you don't like, or you maybe even just don't understand, and question it and throw it out as a part of the conversation. All those things are cool. Y'all got to chill out, man. We gotta move past all that. Gentlemen, what's you guys' thoughts? We about to wrap it up. What are y'all quick thoughts on the whole Gigi thing?
Just quick thoughts on the game. I watched it. He
saw him in the G League game.
Yeah, he just needed to work his way back into shape, which he did throughout the game. You could tell he was getting tired. He got to the fourth quarter. I saw glimpses. One thing I was getting on him about, free throw shooting. He made 2 clutch free throws.
Mm-hmm.
He started to get that fire back in. He was getting to it. Romeo.
The game went to whatever overtime is for G League.
He went to overtime. Elam, he got a technical foul in the fourth quarter as well. So he got the fire in his back. He finally it looked like he needed to get not necessarily confidence, but just play and get that rhythm back and just get back into like the flow of it.
All right, gentlemen, it's been a good one. It's been a good one, gentlemen. For our people who are watching on Fox 13, make sure y'all go to the YouTube page, go to Bluff City Media or the Anthony Sain Show. Search each one of those on YouTube. Check out the rest of the show. We're about to go to break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about the John Morant thing, man. The dunk wasn't a dunk on Wemby, or was it not? We're gonna talk about that. Plus, we're gonna talk about one of the biggest dilemmas the Penny Hardaway's and the Tigers had. Like I said, check that out on YouTube. But for those of you on Fox 13, we'll see y'all next time. But we'll be back in the break. From the break, see y'all in a minute.
Ime Udoka coached his ass off last night, excuse my French, and coached circles around Taylor Jenkins. Like, it was great that Ja played 37 minutes, Jaren played 34, and Desmond played 30, but it was the wrong 37 minutes. If Ime Udoka can figure out that Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green and Cam Whittemore need to sit the start of the fourth quarter and then play the final 10 minutes of it, Taylor Jenkins in year 6 should have that figured out. If you're not seeing it at this point, it's because you're choosing to close your eyes that these goofy lineups that we continue to run out in fourth quarters are losing us basketball games.
No, he played the correct amount of guys. Like, he played 8 dudes over 25 minutes. They were just the wrong
at the wrong time.
Minute. And we like TJ here, but it's like you're doing everything that the math says you should be doing. You're playing the right amount of guys. You're playing them the right amount of minutes. But you have no feel for when those minutes should be played.
Tune into The Daily Grind with your host, Lute Hatmaker, every Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
I'm not sure what could be the solution to the turnovers other than the generic, they got to value possessions.
The turnovers were just so disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, they're dribbling off the foot, lazy passes, just not paying attention. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's just locking in more. But I don't know how to measure that. But like, that's not a measurable thing. So I think it's just an extra level of focus that they have got to get to, even when there's not people in the stands, even when they're playing a bad team, an inferior opponent. Because I've seen them lock in. I've seen them, not make those mistakes in the biggest games of the year. They just have to carry that over and have that same intensity when they play the East Carolinas and the Rices and the Charlottes of the world.
Tune in to Tigers Live with Francis Carlotta, live after every Memphis Tiger basketball game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. For my Fox 13 people who hung around, man, welcome back to the show, man. I don't know y'all know how raw and uncut it get on this side, though, man. Y'all might want to stay back over there on the TV. No. I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna be cool.
We cool.
I
And like you
almost
said,
cussed. I almost cussed, man.
You-
On TV, just almost.
you
cussed.
held it back so well. I was so impressed
Hey,
with you, man.
But you know what I'm saying. But yeah, let's talk
Like
about.
you
Let's
said
get
last
into it,
night,
man.
your blood pressure's down because, like you said last
I'm
night on
chilling,
Twitter,
man. I'm
man,
chilling, bro.
nothing hits quite like a Grizzlies win.
Oh,
man.
nothing hit like a Grizz win. Hopefully, by the time you guys are watching this Sunday night, if you're watching this on Sunday night, hopefully the Grizzlies got another win against San Antonio out there on the road. But we know for sure if you're watching this, you did see the Memphis Grizzlies beat the San Antonio Spurs on Wednesday night, a game in which the Grizzlies were pretty much down a lot in the first half, took the lead in the third quarter, stretched it out, and ended up the Spurs came back and cut the game down to 1 in the fourth quarter. But the Grizzlies did eventually pull out a 129-115 win against the San Antonio Spurs, a game in which Ja Morant. You want to talk about why the NBA viewership is down, right? In times like that, that's when the referees get out. Nah, that shit was too cold, bro. Let's go to the monitor. Like, hey, after a review, the dunk counts. Wemby, you got dunked on.
That's happened before with the Grizzlies. You remember that alley that Jaren threw to Ja, and they called a foul.
There was
blocking
Jaren,
the blocking foul.
blocking charge foul, charging.
No. They called a block. They called a block on Jaren's pass, and they weren't going to count Ja's bucket. And they reversed the call. They went to review it, reversed the call, and gave Ja the dunk. I remember that. It was crazy.
Man. It was a.
That's what I'm saying. It was charge. That's why I said it's charging. It's blocking. It was on defense, I believe. If the defensive player, if they call a foul, defense is blocking. If it's on offense, it's charging. Yeah.
But yeah, epic dunk by Ja, man. Got him real good. He didn't. There's a shout out to Michael Eaves, guy who came through Memphis for a spell as a reporter and a radio host here in the city of Memphis. But man, come on. I hate when guys who have connections to certain cities feel like they have to just be extra non-homer, not to be looked at as a homer. Like Michael Eaves, stop, bro. Like, stop. And I've heard people say this about what's the guy's name? His name is Michael too, the referee. That's Michael Smith, I think is his name.
Michael Smith,
they said that the way he calls games against the Grizzlies is egregious. Like, and they say they think he does that so people won't be thinking he's favoring the home team, the city where he's from. But that was a dunk, bro. I don't give a Ask Wemby's ego was at a dunk.
He jumped.
And Josh said he didn't hear the whistle and he didn't hear it. Wemby did not look like he was like, oh, this because if he would have just got out the way, man. You jumped, bro.
Right.
You jumped and John cleared you, bro. Like,
was that the worst? Was that the most times in one game that Wemby's been punked? He got punked 3 times in that game. Zach got him in the first quarter. Jaren got him on that move to the bucket where he just bodied him.
Yeah.
And then Ja got him.
And that's
I would say this.
Too, man. Go ahead, Perry.
I would say Edey also had a possession where he had like 3 blocks in one possession. So he's the type he's gonna go for it. So I respect it because he had 8 blocks. So, yeah. So
yeah. And I'm gonna say this, man. Like, to your point, I haven't seen many Spurs games, and when I see him, I see a very skilled, very good basketball player in Victor Wembanyama. But when you start asking the questions these days, okay, which is another stupid discussion. This whole face of the league thing is dumb. It's just too much access to the NBA to say there's one face of the league. The face is whoever the viewer's face of the league. Like it's too many people. It's too many people with different ways to see the NBA to have your own customized experience to talk about one guy being the face of the league. One guy has not been the face of the league since Michael Jordan played, bro. Like when it was Kobe and LeBron. It was all these guys who came through. There was never a time right now is Steph, KD, and LeBron might be you call them the faces or whatever. There has never been one face of the league since Michael Jordan, and that was 40 years ago. So like those days are over. But you have to question, like, I think it's a fair question to ask what level is Wemby in? Because like I said, he's a very good player. But aesthetically, are we ready for a big man that has that much outside game to really crown him as anything? Because if you think about it, bro, Dirk Nowitzki was incredibly cold during his career. But Dirk's game was mostly, outside, shooting threes, mid-range game, all those type of things. He wasn't an inside player at all. And what I'm saying is, because of that, I think Dirk Nowitzki is one of the greatest basketball players that's ever played. I think he's one of the most influential basketball players that's ever played. Just because the game we see today is because of guys like Dirk Nowitzki. Like he really broke the NBA, being the big man that had that much versatility. A lot of people have had those arguments with me. Then you have these conversations about, you know, the alphas, the Kobe's of the world, the LeBrons of the world, like, you know, how much help they had and all that. Dirk Nowitzki won an NBA championship with no other all-star level players in their prime on his team.
And let's not forget, LeBron, Dwayne, and Chris tried to alpha him throughout that entire series.
And got their ass outed.
And Dirk on his own back beat them.
With a bunch of dudes that were way past their prime and him.
With Tyson Chandler and Jason Kidd.
Jason Terry.
Jason Kidd was not, yeah.
And Jason Terry, yeah.
No, Sean Marion.
Jason Kidd was the point guard, yeah.
Jason Kidd is an all-star. Sean Marion's an all-star. Those two guys are all-stars. Yes, but those guys were not all-star level players. when they won the championship.
Nope.
That was Dirk. That was Dirk that did that.
Yeah.
That was Dirk.
But the point I'm trying to make is Dirk never really got the flowers he deserved. Maybe some of this because he was ahead of his time and all those type of things. But I just wonder, like, can Wemby really get that type of appeal? He's a super nice guy, the guy that pulls up and, you know, plays chess with people and just randomly pops up and he's playing chess with fans. How much of that was PR? How much? Because I'm sure he had security and I'm sure he just wasn't just out there. The cameras didn't show those type of things, but I'm sure he didn't just pull up. He might have did though, but even if he did, I just wonder, is he that guy marketability wise? He's got a shoe coming out soon, so I guess we'll see how those type of things play out. But I mean, regardless of all that,
it's his second year. Like, I mean, I think folks like to crown way too quickly.
Yeah,
just so they can rip that.
Say top 10 in the league already. I'm like, no, I'm not ready to put in there.
Just so they can rip the crown away. Folks like the crown so they can rip it away from them. Like
exactly, like they did Ja.
Like they did Ja, like they're doing Anthony Edwards right now. Like they're doing like they do it to every player. And I think you give it. I was telling my wife this, who doesn't even watch basketball like that. I was telling my wife this morning. In 5 years, he is going to be incredible, like incredible. But to crown him everything that they're crowning him right now is unfair to him, and I think it's just kind of just a ESPN filler conversation, honestly.
Yeah, he's really good. Don't get it twisted. I think he's a really good player. I just wonder, is he the type of guy that's like best player on a championship level team? Good. I think
not right now. Not right now. He will be though. He can.
Yeah, I think he will be. He just need.
I see a lot of Jokic in him, but it's even scarier, which is crazy when you kind of look at his game. But he's going to have to find a way to.
Because he can dominate defensively.
Yeah, because he's crazy defensively.
He's already doing that now. Yeah, no key
for sure. We'll wrap up the show talking about this. The verdict is yes, there was a dunk. It counted. I don't care what the streets counted. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Something flipped in. Let's talk about this for a second. Something flipped in Ja last night, or like in that game against the Spurs. Like he came out the game, and I texted the group chat this. I was like, he looks different tonight. He's more locked in. Within the first 5 minutes of the game, you could tell he was more crisp with his movements. His passes were more crisp. He was doing things. His movement is like plays to the rim. And then he did.
I know what happened.
What was that?
He saw the clip from the show the other day. He was like, "Yeah, you're right. Who fuck Tomas Isolo? Who is that?
Who is Tomas Isolo?
Why is this dude telling me what to do?
What are we doing?
Come Ja Morant. I know how to score points. What are we doing?
It is crazy. It is crazy how good he makes everybody else look out there. Like you talked about this Parrish in the last show, and I appreciated what you were saying about having. Especially in those crunch time minutes, there's never should be a time where all three of the big three should be sitting down, right? That it should always be
but two of them.
Two of them should be out there.
Yeah.
Ja is so influential in a game that there were moments where they just had Ja and a bunch of randoms out there.
You can do that.
And they were still balling, bro. Like still. Now, when Dez and Jaren were out there, Jaren can't do it by himself, and I think Jaren can do it by himself better than
Jaren's a little bit better than Dez. Yeah, definitely better than Dez.
Dez can't do it by himself, so Dez needs Jaren. But Ja can take Jake LaRavia and Luke Kennard and Brandon Clark and Santi.
He can make
Luke Kennard shoot the ball, and they can work. It's wild. It's wild the influence. It's wild the influence that Ja has on the Grizzlies when he's out there. Yeah, it's wild.
For sure. We will wrap the show up this way. The University of Memphis Tigers, they have a game on tonight as we record Thursday night against Temple, right?
Tigers versus Temple.
Yeah, Tigers versus Temple. Temple, a team had the legendary coach John Chaney, a guy who some people said, including myself, that if Penny keeps aging, that's what he's gonna look like.
Yeah, I can see that.
Wow.
Old man
That's
Penny is
funny.
probably gonna look like John Chady, bro. Like, for real.
Wow.
But shout out to the Tigers. I just want to talk about an interesting dilemma that they have. This isn't a secret. This isn't the first time anybody's going to hear this, but it kind of sucks for Penny, man, because every game now is going to stress you out because there's really no benefit in beating any of these teams. It's like you just have to avoid losing. You have to avoid taking a bad loss, man, because you could beat one of these teams by 100 and nobody would think that you're any greater than they were if you beat them by 10.
Yeah.
But if you have a close win or a loss to one of these teams, all the fingers going to be pointed at you. I cut on the Tigers post-game show with my boy Francis Carlotta after the last game the Tigers had, because it was kind of a close game against was it East Carolina?
East Carolina, yeah.
Yeah. I was at FedEx Forum. Shout out to FedEx Forum for like recognizing for the people who got out here in this weather. Go ahead and they shut the top. They had it tarped over. The top was tarped. And they said, bring y'all ass down here.
I hope they do that moving forward for every game.
That needs to be permanent, bro.
Like
in those seats up top, and make those seats at
Makes
the
a lot of
bottom
sense.
more of a standardized price. Get some people in that arena to pack out their place, man.
100%.
It looked and
Makes
felt
no
right
sense.
just seeing people sitting at the bottom for their game.
Yes, 100%.
And it sounded good in there. It just felt good in there for that game. And shout out to my people who, I was in the courtside suite, man. And the city. Hey, man, I do it for the city because they know, they know the city. You know the song, bro. I can't say the rest, but y'all know the song.
They let you in the courtside suites over there?
Courtside suite, man. I got the city take care of me, man. I do it for the city because the city love me, bro. They take care of me, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I was in the suite, man, for the game. Love the atmosphere, man.
City's content creator covers the city's team, man. That's what I'm
man. The
talking
city.
about.
Hey, if you want to be the city's team, you need to treat me like I'm the city's content creator, bro. I am the underground king of Memphis sports media, man. Y'all need to treat me as such, University of Memphis.
Let's go.
But no, man. Then y'all want my son to come play for y'all, man. Hey, man. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna say this on air. I heard one of Gabe's coaches did something that as a dad made me feel so good, bro. One of Gabe's coaches is friends with John Harden, who's Gabe's one of Gabe's uncles. Gabe calls John Harden, of all people, Uncle Johnny, which is crazy. I'll explain the relationship later. But Harden was like, man, the coach said Gabe is a really exceptional kid. He said Gabe works hard. He said he listens. And he said, man, he said that your son, he told me that your son has like pro level potential. He said that Gabe has really good hands, really good feet as a lineman. He said you don't see that in kids that young. He said I think it's because the martial arts stuff that Gabe did as a kid. He said Gabe's got the two. He said I'm not blowing smoke up your butt. Like Gabe has the potential to be really good. Like
all I'm hearing is y'all's offers better get better, man.
With all that being said, University of Memphis, y'all keep playing with me, bro. Like for real, I'm not gonna play with y'all. I don't pay for tickets, no way. I don't want them from fans. Y'all better start taking care of me, man. For real. Hey. Gabe gonna be making a song like Jello on y'all folks.
The price to play has just gotten higher, baby.
Today price ain't yesterday price, man. Y'all stop playing me, University. But no, bro. But yeah, I think Penny's gonna be fine, man. Like we said before, I don't think this team is wired or composed like the teams he's had in the past, man.
I have a question for you.
Bunch of likable guys in this team. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. I have a question for you. I want to get your thoughts on it. Some news came out yesterday. Did you see it?
What?
All over Twitter. Reported by fan of the show, Hitman Hoops, and alongside Samurai, another group, posted that reports are that Penny has interest in the University of Miami head coaching job and has reached out to them. What are your thoughts on that?
Crap, man. Hell no. Where man get that crap from, bro?
What do you think?
Man, if y'all don't see what 1 cent on, bro.
Yeah, man.
The same shit Calipari was on. Yeah, the what's the name days are over, man. I got this shit figured out now. Y'all finna pay me around this joint, or y'all finna get off my ass for real.
I think Penny.
I don't even think that's real though. I ain't gonna say hit me. I don't know what he's talking about. I just don't think there's much to that. Like I don't think that's legit.
I would be stunned if you hear Penny talk publicly, privately. I would be stunned if he left Memphis for any other college coaching job.
College, right?
He has said on air, in publication, he is unafraid to say, I will coach in the NBA one day. That's his ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And I don't think the trajectory for that is to go to another head coaching job in college basketball. I think he has his sights set on doing things at Memphis and then going to the NBA. And so I would be stunned, not saying that he hasn't reached out or that there's not some of that information's not being leaked or whatever. But I do kind of agree with you. I think we all know what that is, right?
It's some type of power play. Yeah, it's some type of power play. Yeah, for sure. Even if it's a thing where like, oh, Miami's in the ACC or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Maybe something like, hey, Ed, you my guy. Ed Scott, you my guy. Hey, come on, make something happen. You know, whatever. Maybe one of them type of things. So yeah, it's all good though. But man, we're about to wrap this thing up, man. It's been a good one for sure. Like I said, man, I got my water, bro. I got my total beats in my system. I get on make me a smoothie, man. Y'all ain't feeling stressed me out, bro.
Today was a good day, man.
Something else too. I'm gonna say this as a parting shot to the people out there, man. Y'all gotta stop having these coded conversations on Twitter because people gonna start calling y'all out for the bullshit that y'all be saying, bro. Every conversation that a black man has on Twitter is not angry or irrational or what. Sometimes we just getting our thoughts off, man. Sometimes we just having a healthy conversation. Stop trying to point us out like we on some irrational, crazy. No, bro, stop doing all that, bro. Don't do all that. Y'all gotta relax, man. Enjoy your day. But for Kenny Stubblefield and for Perry Sharkey, this is Anthony Sain. We'll see y'all next week, man. And we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.